Hi everyone, and welcome to the second semi-final between ProTTVR and PixelFire. Here with me again is Ian, or Enigma, as you guys know him maybe from the Discord and the game.
Hey everyone, great to be here. Looking forward to another great semi-final.
Yeah, we jump straight into this one. Anybody wondering what the cat head is doing there? It's not me. It's ProTTVR. He has his own camera in there. That's what it looks like. Usually you can hide it, but lately for some people it's been stuck on showing the cat head. So that's why you're seeing that.
It's kind of creepy, just this motionless cat, just kind of watching the match, but not really looking at what's happening.
Yeah, it's true. Like real cats don't move that much either if they don't want to, but that's really little movement.
But anyway, what are you expecting to see in this semi-final? This is a good matchup, but ProTTVR has to be the favourite, right?
Yeah, but like against a player like PixelFire, just like AlexTTBCN, it all depends on their form. You know, if he can attack, it's going to be hard for ProTT, but it's always going to be hard for PixelFire to be that consistent as a player like ProTT. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out.
So again, PixelFire is quite an attacking player then, similar to AlexTTBCN, like we were seeing in the first semi.
Yes, you saw him just like two consequent good forehands. He attacks and he keeps attacking. The second attack is stronger than the first attack, you know, but he seems to be having some tracking issues sometimes.
Oh yeah, just giving the paddle a little wave there.
Yeah, ProTTVR taking the time to clean his shoes, I think.
Just making sure he's not too close to his TV.
PixelFire not. Yeah, exactly. The TV is always a dangerous place. For people that don't know yet, Zoran Primorac is also in the game, and he was also very close to knocking over his TV when he played about a week or two ago. So, just saying, this game is a TV killer.
See, I'm lucky. My room where I play VR, I don't have a TV, so I managed to sidestep that whole problem.
Yeah, I don't want to say where my TV is because people are gonna make sure that I break it. So I'm not gonna tell them.
Get the inside line on how to beat you.
Exactly.
So PixelFire takes down the first set, so they're just taking a moment between sets, which is it's good to see.
Exactly. Like ProTT is very good at doing that, and it's important. PixelFire in general, I've noticed him doing that in the past as well, so he's probably very happy that he can take a breather.
Yeah, so for people who might not be aware, obviously ProTTVR, as well as being currently the #1 ranked player in the game, he's a pretty experienced player in real life. So I guess a lot of those habits, you know, taking the time between sets and kind of just having a towel down, taking a moment, that's all quite natural for him coming across from playing in real life.
Yeah. You have to think though, like everybody in the semifinals at some point has been a real life player at a decent level. PixelFire has been trying to convince me that he has the lowest level of everybody, but he's still a club player, and you can see the way he plays. Like when he's on a roll, he's really quite good. Of course, otherwise he wouldn't be here either.
Yeah, right. It's not been easy to get to these semi-finals, and especially in a single elimination tournament. You know, one loss and you're gone. So
exactly,
all four of these guys have done really well.
And just thinking of the size of this tournament this month, Ian, is just amazing. First of all, organizing it, and then of course making it through the whole swamp. You know, every time, you know, playing everybody and then being at your best, because you never know. Like there's a lot of new players in here that can be very surprising.
So no doubt, and it's pretty rapid fire as well. You know, we give the players as long as we can for each match, but it's usually 48 hours. So you got to quickly kind of turn it around, figure out who your opponent is, get in contact with them. Yeah. You know, there's quite a lot of pressure there, and then you have to actually play the match and try and bring your A game. So it's not easy at all.
No. And as I said, you know, you would expect ProTT to dominate, but you can see PixelFire is putting some pressure on him from the start. ProTTVR not too happy. That's clear. He always looks back. He always looks back when he's not happy.
This is good. So you've got all the tells. You know everyone's style.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I know all of the tells because I haven't watched him too much, but some of the stuff is very very specific in the way he plays. And it doesn't happen that much that he's so frustrated that he looks back, so it's quite obvious when it happens.
Yeah, and PixelFire has taken that first match 2-0. So just like before, we're playing a best of 7 matches. So PixelFire needs another 3 matches if he wants to move on to the final.
Yeah, but it's not.
I don't think ProTTVR is going to.
It's not going to make it easy. No.
No, he's not. He's not going to step aside. He's very much a competitor, so he's definitely going to be fighting back now.
Yeah. But it's not a bad start for PixelFire because every match you can get, you have to take, and he got this one quickly by playing quite positively. While ProTT was not really in his game yet.
Yeah. Also, so we'll see if he kind of settles in a bit more this game, I suppose.
Yeah. Also, the fact that ProTT doesn't find a solution right away is a good sign for him, because ProTT is very good at finding holes in your game.
Yes, that much I had heard, that he's kind of a bit of a master at finding those weaknesses and then just really exploiting them, right? Exactly.
The thing that hurts him more are really good, strong attacks. So that's why also PixelFire is always, how do you say it? You never know with players like PixelFire. Mm-hmm. They can really damage ProTTVR because of the game, you know. You can really produce a lot of spin in here that might not be totally realistic.
I mean, in terms of the past record between these players, they've actually only played 1 ranked match before today, and that was a win for ProTTVR. So already that first match that PixelFire wins is the first time he's taken a ranked match off of ProTT. So yeah, really interesting.
Good variety though with the serves from PixelFire.
Ooh, little edge ball there.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the best stroke. Sometimes, you know, it's hard to see what they actually wanted to do, because in real life something else probably would have happened with those last microsecond changes. Because sometimes you can just let the ball go into your bat in real life, and it's possible in here as well, but not always in the same way. So a little bit tracking that's off, and something weird will happen.
Yeah, we haven't quite got to exact 1-to-1 physics yet. I know Roman's trying; he's doing his best. We're pretty close, but we're not quite there yet.
No, but at the same time as well, it's not bad, because it makes you a better player in a way, because those full strokes in real life are also a better option than, you know, whatever last microsecond reflex that you might have. Yeah, very clean. Deep forehand.
Yeah, it always seems like ProTTVR's game is very... what's the word that I'm looking for? It's very positive. You know, every stroke he plays is very deliberate and meaningful. You know, some of those backhands were just so deliberate, so kind of confident, I suppose is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, his placement. He has, like, you can see him playing and you can see he has a plan. Like, he's like, okay, now I'm going to push him deep, and then I'm going to switch sides, or I'm going to push to the middle, and then I'm going to go deep forehand. And he's able to do that most of the time as well, which is not easy, because you can have a plan and then you have to change it. But I think he's quite flexible as well when it comes to plans.
Yeah, I know I've seen him speak before in the Discord about kind of how when you're actually in the point, it's all kind of instinct and it's reaction. You know, you're not consciously making those decisions.
Yeah, but he has a lot of very good tactics ingrained in him. You can see it. But like when he's pushing, you can still see that there's a lot going on. Like, he's seeing a lot more than a lot of other players. So he's not just playing pure instinct. He's really choosing.
Yeah,
maybe
that
he feels
kind of prediction, that anticipation, right? So it's like, you know, before you've even finished playing the push, you're already thinking about the return you're going to get and how you're going to play that.
Exactly, the new angles that you create. But I have a feeling, but I'm not entirely sure, but I have a feeling that he's really good at watching the opponent move as well. because I can see him going for openings that are obvious when you look at it, but are not always easy to see when you're at the table.
Right. And there we go. He takes the second match, so evens it up at 1 apiece.
Yep. Still a close second set there. PixelFire still putting up quite a fight. But yeah, like once ProTT starts going for, you know, his placements, and he starts feeling confident, and you start feeling like you're running behind, you know, you're trying to solve the puzzle that he's putting before you. And what PixelFire needs to be able to do to win is to kind of turn it around. Like he needs to be able to open up the game first and put ProTTVR on a defensive, so he doesn't have that much space to play around and to work with placement.
Yeah, it's kind of like take those options away from him, take away some of his tools, and try and get the points ground out that way.
Exactly.
There we go, heading into the first set of the third match.
A little bit lucky.
Lucky netball there for PixelFire, yeah.
No, he lost that
something
point.
happened with the serve there. Must have just caught his paddle on the way down, perhaps.
I think it might be the batteries. Like for some reason his batteries are. Oh no, I know what it is. He's in the menu. I guess he's checking something in the menu.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, didn't quite see all of the serve, but he obviously wasn't expecting to have made contact if he did. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, luckily it's early in the set, so it's not, you know, it's not like it's set point or something. That'd be a real shame.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. PixelFire is known for being a very fair player, so I imagine if there was a point to give back, he would have given it back, or he did give it back. I'm not sure. Okay. Very nice. There seemed to be a little bit of lag there, but it was a good point. You can see, like, I've seen PixelFire play before against faster players, and he gets a lot more space against ProTTVR. So yeah, he has time to move his body, get into position, and attack. Not always successfully. It's always still a higher risk play than what ProTTVR is doing. But yeah, stuff
so
like this.
Kind of very much parallel to what we saw in the first semi, right?
Yeah, in a way, he's taking the risks, and but ProTTVR is giving him space as well. Ifaton does that too, but I have a feeling Ifaton is slightly faster in his counter game than ProTTVR. ProTTVR still goes for bigger swings, slightly bigger swings, so he still wants to counter with more strength coming from himself, right? But he builds up to that, so while he's just still playing the ball back, he's a little bit softer, I feel, than Ifa.
Gotcha.
But it's very close. I think it's very close. And if you would tell ProTTVR, I think he would disagree. He'd be like, no, I'm the fastest player alive.
Well, Pixels managed to take that first set of the third match, so players just taking a moment again in between sets.
Yeah.
I like how it looks like ProTTVR, his table in front of him is almost exactly at actual table height, so when he puts his paddle down, it's almost like it is on the table.
Yeah, I would be so scared of that. Yeah, yeah, but he has smaller strokes as well, a little bit more controlled, so I think he's a bit safer there.
That was a great first rally for the first point of that set.
Yeah. You have to think as well, PixelFire right now I think is playing the Rift S, so he's still playing with the cable.
Yeah, that's kind of incredible, right?
Yeah.
It's to think that he's able to get this amount of mobility and movement even with a cable hanging off the back of his head. I don't know if he's got like one of those pulley systems or anything like that, but
I'm not sure
amazing.
either. Yeah. So when you look at the bat settings, so both of them are playing very similar bat setups. So like both of their bounces are close to 77, 75, spin 77, 80, and throw 1.17 and 1.15 for PixelFire. So and both have lab data on. If I have that correctly, I'm quite sure PixelFire has it on as well. So they're basically playing with the same bat as well, which is interesting to see.
Yeah, and they're both playing with lower bounce and spin than Aoife and AliasRec in the first semi, right? So slightly different paddle setup compared to that.
Yeah. ProTTVR mostly took it down after playing in real life again, and he noticed the short game wasn't short enough. So I know he can play faster in real life when he plays strongly, but he also felt just like I did as well that the short game is very important to feel, like to make you feel like it's more real.
Yeah, and I guess having that control in the short game as well is so important.
Yeah, for sure.
Trading blows in this second set. It's pretty tight at the moment, 8 apiece.
Yeah, ProTTVR manages to surprise a lot with the placement of his pushes. They're going in the opposite direction that PixelFire is expecting. There we go, 1-all in sets. Yeah. It seems something silly, but being able to do that, just to push in a way that is unexpected, it can have such a big impact because your opponent is not ready to attack, and it gives you an easier attack on the next ball. So you don't know.
Yeah, I guess as well, it kind of does it buy you some leniency as well. If you play a short shot a bit too high, if it's going exactly where your opponent's already moving towards, then they've got an attacking opportunity. Whereas if at least the placement is unexpected, then even if you don't play a good quality shot, they've got less chance to attack it, right?
Exactly. It's very important. Sometimes just being able to play it nice and deep is already a lot. Like, that's not really a good ball, but it's deep. It gives him a little bit more space. But I'm sure ProTT wanted to have that lower as well. You can see ProTTVR compared to the first match is way more comfortable right now.
Yeah, he seems more fluid in his movement, and just generally he seems to be acting as if he's expecting his shots to all land where he's wanting them to. There's not as much frustration as there was in the early games.
No. PixelFire almost never showing any frustration, so it's hard to see how he feels, but I feel like he's still playing solid table tennis, going for his attacks. Not the first attacks, he's not the heaviest player, not like AliasRec, who's really going for every opportunity, even though against IFA we saw him try to push out some of the points as well, not to have to take all the risk himself. But PixelFire generally, he maybe waits just like one step more to get into perfect position before he starts attacking.
Yeah, kind of tries to massage the point to where he wants it, and then take his chance.
Exactly. And so it's a good idea, but against ProTTVR, who lives off speed and placement, it's dangerous because you might not get the chance to get in the right position if you wait too long.
Yeah, that's it. You go one extra shot and suddenly ProTTVR has just put it somewhere you can't really deal with properly. Your plan's out the window.
Exactly. And ProTTVR as well, like keeping his serves simple because he just wants to start the counter game. And
that's something that's been noted a few times, isn't it? Is that he doesn't really try to play the serves that he might play in real life. He just plays these fairly fast flat serves and just gets straight into a rally as quickly as possible.
Yeah, exactly, and it works because if he plays a short one, he plays a lot of short ones as well because he notices that people go back and then they're ready for his other serve. Then he plays it short and you have to step in. It's all quite smart. So PixelFire takes this one. So still in the game, very much so.
Yeah, I mean he's up 2 matches to 1 now.
Yeah. So the quick serve of ProTTVR, what it does mainly, in my opinion, is it stops you from playing a very strong spinny attack. So you have to be very confident to not just attack that ball, because most players will do that in some way, but to attack it in a way that's spinny enough to make the point. That's not easy. It's possible, but you're taking more risks again. So he plays that fast. He knows that you're going to play something that he can handle, and then he can start placing the ball around the table. So yeah, the key.
Really interesting to see different approaches. Even though on paper you might think, like I was saying earlier, it seemed like there were parallels between this matchup and the first semi-final. But ProTTVR does not play the same game that IFA does, and
no.
It's really interesting to see all these subtle differences and how it affects the outcome.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, here we go then, heading into the fourth match. Pixel to serve. Players just adjusting their headsets there. That's one thing you don't see in real life, I guess.
Well, if you have a headband, maybe. T-Mobile would do it, maybe,
Good
yeah.
point.
There's a lot of mannerisms in any sport, right? Like people in real life, maybe they go and they wipe their sweat from their hands close to the net, stuff like that. They don't really need it. Maybe they touch the table for a second. In this case, of course, you do need to make sure that your headset stays on. So it's not just a habit. It really needs to happen.
Yeah, I've definitely played some points that have gone long and have got towards the end of the point and can't really see properly because I've either fogged up or my headset's moved around too much. That's definitely a problem.
Yeah. So the moving around, I'm okay with it because I've gotten used to strapping it on quite tightly. But yeah, it can give you a headache if you play too long like that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So ProTTVR in comparison to iPhoton, for example, like his counters, like his counter game, how do you say it? Like IFA counters, but it's still kind of a fast block. What ProTT does is kind of counter topspins, which is they're a little bit faster. They're a little bit, in a way, sometimes a bit more control because the extra spin gives him more margin of error. But still, he has to move faster, so there's a little bit more risk involved as well.
So to be fair to say, it's more kind of an attacking counter rather than a defensive or controlling counter.
Yeah, in a way you could say that. Not that iPhoton is defensive, but it's it's more towards the aggressive side of ProTT.
There we go. He takes down the first set in this match.
So yeah, PixelFire. Totally different style, totally different way of playing. Looking for a good attack, but he's not rushing anything. Like he always looks like he feels like he has enough time, even though sometimes he doesn't. But it's a good thing. No, it's a good thing because if you show that you feel rushed, then ProTT will bounce on that as well. He will notice. PixelFire always seems to be quite well in control, even though he might not be.
Yeah, he definitely seems like a very calm player. There's no rushed movements. Everything's very smooth.
Yeah, he's a very respectful player, and that helps a lot as well. Like, I've never seen him complain about how anybody else plays or anything like that, and he doesn't really get angry at himself either. And that's not easy. Everybody does it almost. So if that's his strength, that's his. And iPhoton has a similar way of playing as well.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone plays table tennis without getting angry at themselves. I'm not capable of that.
Yeah. Table tennis should be part of everybody's education when it comes to dealing with anger issues.
Exactly. It's all about mental fortitude, right? It's good training.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not something you easily outgrow. It's just some people that manage it. It's not something related to age either, you know. Let's see if ProTT can pull this one in.
Oh,
he does it.
It's a good rally though. But yeah, it's back to 2 apiece.
Yeah, very close games.
Really close, yeah.
Well, close. It's 11-5, 11-5, but still, they're still both in it when it comes to matches. So.
Yeah, and you know, 11-5 maybe doesn't tell the whole story, right? If PixelFire is trying to play that more attacking style and hit some winners, if he misses a few, then he's going to lose a few points, right? It's kind of the way it goes. Exactly.
But yeah, it's like we said, like ProTT himself is also not a passive player, so you have to be fast enough to put pressure on him. Otherwise, he's gonna put pressure on you. It might not be like a big final swing right away, but it will put you on the back foot. So you either have to be really good at countering that, or you have to make sure that you're the first one to attack.
Makes sense.
Yeah. when it comes about to anger and stuff, I've seen it a lot of times as well. Like kids get angry playing table tennis, and their parents get angry at them for getting angry coaches as well sometimes, and it's ridiculous because the same parents sometimes they play as well, right? Or the coach plays as well, and then during the weekend they're playing their matches and they get so angry.
Yeah, it's like yeah, do as I say, not as I do, kind of
exactly.
thing. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense.
Table tennis is a good place to learn that there's space for those emotions. You know, like it's okay to feel angry. It's just how you deal with it. You know, how you learn to deal with it, and how you accept it as well that you're angry of something. And and don't push it away. You know, because you can get angry at your opponent, even though your opponent is not doing anything except for playing good table tennis. You know.
Yeah, 100%. Sport in general is a great outlet for all those kinds of emotions, isn't it? It's a great place to, you know, even if you're not great at a sport, you can blow off some steam at least.
Yeah, but I've seen so many good players as well just wanting to leave the whole sport because they get angry so much, right? It's like, it's not fun for me anymore. Like, I'm always playing this bad. Like, they're directing their anger in the wrong direction. Sometimes it's themselves, sometimes it's the opponent, sometimes it's the world, right? It's always interesting to see how they deal with that.
Yeah, definitely. If you can conquer those problems, then you know, the small issues of just playing quality shots will just melt away. Not a problem if you can deal with the emotions.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's in any sport. All the stuff that you learn there, like about control and self-control, like you can use it in other places as well. So if we're talking about realism and VR, I mean, this kind of stuff, getting angry, getting over it, you know, still staying in the game, that's exactly the same. Again, like not a simulation. It's just exactly the same in this game as it is in real life.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Luckily, we don't have to get Roman to implement anything in the game for that to be the case. It just happens for free.
Yeah, because you can think, oh yeah, but the tracking, that's what's making me angry. No, it's the same. It's like in real life, sometimes the ball or the rubber is humid and it's not your fault. But being able to deal with it and still staying on top of it, that's what you need. And in this game, it's the same. Tracking sometimes is going to be off. But it's part of it. So dealing with that is it's an important lesson.
Learning to realize that you've got that kind of selective memory, right? You know, that kind of false reinforcement that we all know what it's like. You only remember the edge balls that went against you. You forget all the ones that went in your favor. Yeah.
Honestly, myself, I always remember matches like as if I won them, even if I lost. I don't know. Like it's very hard for me to remember anyone that beat me because I just. Like, didn't I beat you last time? Like, no, you lost very hard. I'm like, well, I don't remember it that way, so it's fine.
That was a good way to stay positive.
Yeah, I know.
I definitely don't. I'm the opposite. Like, I struggle to remember the games that I've won. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess it's the same for me because they get lost in the ones that I lost as well. So. But yeah, it's not all about winning. You can play your best match or your best level table tennis ever and have a really good match against a very strong opponent and still lose. And still be proud of that. We saw that with AlexTTBCN and Ifaton as well. Like he said it at the end. Like he was very happy with the game even though he lost.
Yeah, exactly. Because he just knew that he'd played really well, which he did. It's incredible.
Yeah, you can't ask for more.
Exactly.
Well, you can still ask to win, of course. You can play ugly and win.
That's it. If we're wishing for things, you can definitely ask for more, but you might not deserve it.
Yeah, no. But also like when you're in team matches, for example, being able to just take a step back and make your game a little bit not dirtier, but less clean because it's not working, but just more efficient. Sometimes it's just what you need to do. You know, that's the way that you have a chance of winning. Then that's how you play. But of course, a player like AlexTTBCN is really going for, you know, the most beautiful table tennis that he can play. So he's very happy when he can get that out. Anybody is, but yeah. I don't think he has a backup plan. He's like, no, I'm going for it. And if either it works or it doesn't. And that's, well, that can get you far as well, you know.
Yeah, certainly he got into the semi-finals this month. So
yep,
he's got to be doing something right.
Meantime here, PixelFire is a little bit behind. See if we can still salvage this match, even this set maybe.
Yeah, he's managed to close the gap a little bit this second set. he'll be hoping to level it up at 1 set apiece, but it's 9-6 now, so he hasn't got much time, and now it's game set point. And there it is. So 3-2 to ProTTVR, so just one match away from a meeting with Overton in the final. If ProTTVR can just win one more match, he will be our second finalist.
Yep. It's not finished.
Oh, it's definitely not over. Pixel's not going to give up.
That's the thing, like players like PixelFire and even Alias Rec as well, like you look at them play and you're like, yeah, no, it seems like they're taking more risks. They're not playing as well maybe as the other guy because he looks more consistent, but they're still there. It's 3-2. It's not like it's not finished. He can still get there, and it might not look as solid, but as long as he's winning sets and matches, he's not out of the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit like football sometimes as well. Like you go to like the highest level matches and it can be very boring because defense is too strong or whatever. But then you go a little bit lower and you're like, players can already play really well. The defense is a little bit softer, and then there's a lot more goals, there's a lot more excitement, right? So sometimes playing at the highest level is not the most interesting matches to watch,
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of that thing of pushing small edges, isn't it? Isn't always the most exciting thing to watch. You kind of want to see big plays.
Exactly. I mean, the sport sometimes changes just to try to make that happen, Try to make the points longer, they make the ball a bit bigger, all that stuff. Yeah, trying to make the game slower, but then people just hit harder. There's only so much you can do. Bad tracking. That's weird though. Yeah. Well, it's a Rift S. I haven't played with that ever, so same controls as the Quest 1 though.
Yeah, I've never played on the Rift, but yeah, I'm not sure what the tracking is like.
It used to be the best one out there before the Quest 2, and I think it's still very, very solid. But this loss of tracking, I don't know if it's something that usually happens.
Oh wow.
Nice. Good
What
point.
a great finish there from PixelFire. Massive topspin forehand.
Yeah. Good forehand, yeah.
And another one, yeah, really good.
It's getting close. But PixelFire does need a lot of space to be able to play those big shots, so it's very dangerous against somebody who's really good at just giving you less time. But still,
it's like you said, he's still there. It's still 10-9 and now 10-10.
Exactly. Sometimes it's just about that, just being right on their heels, and just at some point making those last 2 points, and that's it. You get the set. I've won against better players like that in real life as well. Sometimes just sticking close, and then bam.
And he takes the first set.
Yep. Yeah. It's weird sometimes, table tennis. Like you can have a feeling that you're actually not losing. You're never losing, but in the end, you lost all the sets that you needed to win.
Yeah.
Because they were just right behind you, not playing like spectacular, but just being there, doing everything they needed to do. And PixelFire is not, playing his strongest game, maybe, but just enough to just be there and not make it too easy.
was a great rally.
Yeah, I always like the sound of the net as well. It doesn't happen that much.
Yeah, when it hits just like the assembly off to the sides, that very satisfying metallic sound, isn't there?
Yeah. I go backhand. Like, you might not think of it, but like when he gets the space PixelFire, he actually finishes quite consistently. Of course, he doesn't get space that often. But like now, for example, he was there, but then a quick counter by ProTT has him out of position still from the big swing that he did.
Yeah, it's really shining through that, what you were saying about ProTT's positional game. You can just really see him pushing PixelFire to the corners. It's quite pronounced, isn't it?
Yeah. He's always slightly out of position, and he has to. If the ball that ProTTVR plays is a little bit slower, he has the time to move his feet a little bit, and then he can attack decently. But if it has some speed behind it, he gets to maybe 2 or 3 balls, but he always seems to be a little bit behind the ball, like he's not on top of it, which he needs to be able to attack decently.
Yeah, there definitely seemed to be a few times towards the end of that set where ProTTVR was sending these kind of almost curving these topspin forehands outwards to PixelFire's right, and then just immediately blocking one back to the other side and just kind of sending him left to right to left to right. It was difficult for Pixel to be where he needed to be.
Yeah, exactly. And normally, like, the middle of the table is a good place to play, and PixelFire is actually really strong at attacking the middle of the table when he plays other players. But ProTTVR is one of the few players that's very solid at the crossover point. So a weak point for most players is actually a place where he's quite comfortable.
Yeah, so that's something I've heard a lot as a beginner, is kind of trying to find the opponent's elbow. Is that the sort of at the crossover point, right? So
exactly.
You're trying to play to their elbow, so it's difficult for them to be in the right position.
That's exactly it. And that's actually, like, I imagine that... what's happening to PixelFire?
Oh, wow.
That doesn't look healthy.
Definitely having some tracking issues there.
Jesus. All right. No, yeah. I mean, that totally made me lose track what we were talking about.
Just playing to the elbow I was talking about, because that was a phrase I'd heard a few times.
All right. I imagine that's, like, what's incredible about ProTTVR and how he does it is because he doesn't move a lot, but still he gets to the ball that goes to the hardest place. So most of the time, pro players, they work a lot on being able to move their feet out of the way and to get there, and he just seems to get there without too much of an effort.
Yeah, because he also plays in a relatively confined play space, doesn't he, from what I've seen? Quite a small area. Yeah,
his game is all about, like, relatively small strokes, which also makes it easier to switch between forehand and backhand the last second. And that's probably also why he's quite good in the middle, because his pedal is more or less there in a neutral position. Even though now you notice that he was still, bothered by it. At least when the ball is going fast, I know that he's good at it. But when maybe it's like a pushed ball to his crossover point, that might actually be a little bit harder, because he's not that good at spinning up the ball. It's also harder always when it's closer to your body.
Right. This match looks like it's going to go down to the wire. This is really close at the moment.
Yep. PixelFire going for the attacks, not super strong, but just enough to be the one in charge when he can. Yeah, taking over, good placement.
I could see it again though, ProTTVR just alternating sides, just pushing to the left, pushing to the right.
Good ball.
Just try and work him back and forth until there's an opening. Yeah,
PixelFire is attacking better now. Like, he's placing the ball when he's attacking in a better way, so it gives less options for ProTTVR to do his placement routine. But yeah, there you go. Ready for the middle.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
managed to get one of those back with a lob, but couldn't defend the second one. So once again, we're going to go to a 7th match to decide this one.
Yeah, some amazing semis on your first tournament, Ian.
Yeah, I wish I could say it was anything to do with anything I'd done, but yeah, I couldn't ask for more. 2 semi-finals that go to 7 matches. That's ideal for the neutral.
I mean, you've done something because you have. I don't know how many people of the top 20 are playing this tournament. Like a lot.
I think we ended up with about half. I did a little bit of outreach work to try and contact a few of the very top players and see if they're interested. But yeah, we got about half of the top 20, so that's pretty decent turnout.
That's very good. Yeah, it's very decent. So you did something to make this happen. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, the players had to turn up. I mean, we had 410 players, which was astonishing. Like, amazing that so many players took the time to get registered and to play their matches. Just humbling to see that many people come along for a VR table tennis tournament. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And I played as well, and my thought was like, it's gonna be so many games that I need to play if I want to make it far enough, right? So, I mean, if you're just going into it and you think like I'm gonna lose the first one, it's fine. But if you think you're gonna do a couple of rounds, you're like, oh man, you have to plan every match.
These are the things we need to think about going forward. Is kind of like the best ways to give people an experience, no matter what their level, and that's always forefront in my mind when I'm trying to plan these things. Is how can we make sure the top players get to compete, but also everyone who wants to play gets to play something that's fun and meaningful to them.
Exactly.
Getting that balance is really tricky, but we try.
Yeah, but even so, like even though like it can probably be improved, and it will be improved as well. Everybody's here. 410 players are there. They're playing. They're not. I don't know if you had a lot of cancellations, but most of them are just playing their matches, managing to find the time to play them.
It's been really good. I mean, the players are fantastic. Everyone is so positive and so accommodating and flexible about scheduling and all that kind of stuff. So it's honestly it's the players that make this thing, and that's how we end up with these amazing quality final few matches that we're getting to watch now.
Yeah. So let's see how they approach this last match. So Pixel, when he attacks, he needs to place it well to make sure that he's not hurt by the returning ball. But of course, he needs to be able to land his attacks. ProTTVR, on the other hand, has to try to stop PixelFire from attacking freely, which he's been rather good at. But still, we ended up 3-3 in matches. So that's another good placement by PixelFire on his attack. That's also very good. Solid to the middle, a bit faster. Oh. It was not a bad play by PixelFire, but yeah, that angle opened up, and ProTTVR went for it. Also an edge, which helps.
So he's got a few chances here to take the first set, and he does first time of asking.
Yeah, that was a very fast backhand. I mean, if it's middle of the table quite high, ProTTVR and Alios Rec the same, like they don't doubt, they just go for it and it's point. And PixelFire, honestly, he does that most of the time too, but he hasn't had a lot of loose balls high on his backhand, middle of the table.
No, well, we're going to find out what he's made of now. He needs to come back and win 2 straight sets if he wants to make it to the final. And he's got to do it against one of the most formidable opponents you could come up against, so...
Exactly.
It's no small task.
Nope. Yeah, we've already said that PixelFire seems very solid. I think he's affected by nerves, but he's not showing it, so it's possible that he's not affected by them, and then he has a real shot to getting back into it.
Yeah, I guess as well at this point it's ProTT's to lose rather than Pixel's to win. Do you know what I mean? I suppose if I was in Pixel's shoes, I probably wouldn't feel much pressure now. It's like I've just got to play as well as I can, and if I win 2 sets, then great, and if I don't, then I don't.
Yeah, if only, Ian. If only that was the case. I'm quite sure PixelFire knows that he has a chance if he plays well, so he still feels the pressure, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because it's been going back and forth, so he knows he can be a fourth for him or a back, whatever is the one that wins.
Yeah. Well, it's fair to say that I don't have as much experience as you do in the last stages of any table tennis tournaments, whether they be VR or real life. So I'll defer to your knowledge on that one.
No, like what you said is, like, if PixelFire would be able to play that way, that would be perfect. I've just not have it seen happen that often.
Yeah, fair enough.
When you're playing a better player, that you actually feel more relaxed at the end. I mean, that's also the thing. Like, is he a better player? Like, it's so close. So basically, you just feel the pressure of being behind, but having the possibility of coming back. So yeah. And you see ProTTVR is maybe a little bit more on the back foot, just returning the balls, waiting for PixelFire to dig his own grave.
Yeah, and it's not looking good. And there we go. He finishes it off with a very, very strong backhand. So ProTTVR makes it.
Good game, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that was very intense.
Yeah.
Really well played, guys. This was a crazy match.
Yeah. Up and down. Down.
Really crazy match, but well played.
Yes. I'll see you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you, Sulik.
Yeah, bye bye. I have to go as well. Well played, ProTT. Like,
Thanks.
to hold this, really well played.
Huh?
To hold against this, really well played.
Yes, psychological work.
Yeah, but I could see the experience coming through in this one for you. I saw moments where I think if Pixel had the same experience as you, maybe he would come on top. But I could see that you were acting differently. You were changing stuff, and he didn't react to what was happening on the table that much.
Yes, I was searching till I found the one there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got fucked.
No, but really well played.
Yeah,
like you
I
played
don't have the
amazing.
space
Pixel.
on this side.
Oh.
I can't really go for forehand, so I'm kind of.
Yeah, but since
fine.
I lost all my money
It's
betting
fine.
on you, I will show this is the face of the
Yes,
loser that
yes.
makes people lose money. Don't bet on this guy.
Well played, man. At least you got a lot of ELO points now.
Yes. Thank you, man. See
Okay.
you.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right. Yeah. So you saw it's I already had this feeling as well. I've seen it before as well, that I think actually PixelFire is a forehand oriented player, but he plays backhand because he has to, because he doesn't have space to pivot, and it seems to be the case. I have something similar going on as well, and ProTTVR also figured it out at some point, and he said the same. Like, he found the backhand, and PixelFire said, like, we should have noticed during the game, Ian. We should have seen it. But, yeah.
Well, you know, I didn't want to ruin it for everyone. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Let people figure it out on their own, right?
Exactly. But still,
but that's always going to be tough, right? Especially if you're up against a player with the placement that ProTT has. Like, if he figures out that there's a spot that's difficult for you, well, he's just going to keep trying to put it there. So that's definitely going to be tough for Pixel.
But even with that, you know, it was still very close.
It was still really close, really close.
Yeah.
So there we have it. We've got a final. So we're going to have our number 1 and number 2 seeds, who are respectively 1st and 3rd in the world rankings, going head to head for the final for the championship. Yep,
and we're gonna have the third place match first as well.
Yes, absolutely. Because although the prize money for 3rd and 4th is the same, we've got season ranking points to be settled. So we will see the return of both Aliazrek and today's runner-up. PixelFire, yeah. Oh, forgetting players' names is not really good for the tournament director, is it?
No, it's okay.
You can give me one. Let me off one time.
If you have to remember all 400, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Today you've only asked me to remember 4, so I should have been able to do that, but I stumbled once, so I hold my hands up at that one. But yes, we'll have that 3rd place playoff to find out who takes that final spot on the podium, but followed up afterwards by what is bound to be a cracking final match.
Yeah, so we're gonna have 3rd place go between two attacking players. It's gonna be interesting how that's gonna turn out. They can be very short points because it's either win or lose with both of them. PixelFire being a little bit more controlling than Aliasrek, and then the final is gonna be between 2 controlled players. So it's always good for longer points in general. So we'll see how that turns out.
yeah, that's exciting. I can't wait to see some big long rallies in that final. That could be really interesting.
Yep. All right. Everybody watching, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next match. Goodbye. Bye in.
Bye. Thanks for having me, Alex.
Thanks for being here. Bye.